Let's start our lesson, and today I will help you to recognize and use fixed phrases and linking words that are commonly used in academic writing. Okay, first we should read the instruction and complete the task. Look at the sentence from the essay on page 30, underline the words and phrases which introduce the topic of the essay or conclude the essay. Okay. We should underline the words. For example, this essay will describe the three types of organisms which form food chains and explain how each organism acts as a food source for the next one in the chain. This essay will describe and explain how this shows introduction. And the second, to summarize, a food chain shows that every organism is dependent on another for its source of energy, and its turn acts as a food source for the next organisms in the chain. To summarize indicators the conclusion of the essay. Next. Okay, we should read instruction and complete the task individually. And so finally you compare your answers with me. This report will outline the second in conclusion, third one in brief, fourth one will be discussed, fifth one as this report has shown, and the sixth one will be examined. And we should add the words and phrases you underlined in exercises second to the table. For example, it is given introduction and summarizing and concluding. This essay will describe and related to introduction, and to summarize links summarizing or concluding. This report will outline this introduction, will be discussed, also introduction. In this paper will be examined, also introduction. And to summarize, in conclusion, in brief, and this report has shown, related to summarizing and concluding. Okay. Look at the extract from essay on page 30. Underline one phrase which indicates an example and one way of rephrasing. Okay. You have 4 minutes to read this essay. Okay. Consumers are classified depending on their place in the chain. For instance, underline, for instance, when humans eat vegetables and they are primary consumers. In other words, please underline, they are directly eating a product of photosynthesis. When they eat meat, they are secondary consumers. Okay. The fifth task, you should complete the task individually. A1. Photosynthesis. That is the process by which plants make food, requires sunlight. Second one, primary consumers. For example, cows feed on plants. Third one, hydroelectric plant. In other words, a power station using water to make electricity will be built on the coast. The first one, microorganisms such as the bacteria and fungi as the final step in the food chain. Use a dictionary to complete the sentences. An important source of energy is carbohydrates such as you have to 20 seconds. Pasta or potatoes or rice. Many people suffer from insomnia, that is, you have 20 seconds. The inability to sleep. Respiration, in other words, the process by which living things produce energy from food. Reptiles, for example, crocodiles or snakes are cold-blooded and their bodies are covered in scales. Source of energy. Read title and introduction to the essay from page 30, where we have already introduced the topic, the essay. And I will give practice in writing introductions, including thesis statements and conclusions. Okay. First, we should read the study skill related to introduction. The introduction to a piece of writing may have several purposes. For example, to introduce a topic, to state the purpose of the writing, to give an overview of the content and sequence. Introductions often contain a thesis statement which expresses in one or two sentences the main ideas in the essay. The first task, underline the thesis statement. A food chain shows the relationship between organisms which feed on each other. This essay will describe the three types of organisms which form food chains and explain how each organism acts as a food source for the next one in the chain. This essay will describe the thesis statement. Begins this essay will describe and conclude one in chain. Match the thesis statement from A to C with the essay titles from 1 to 3. What are the effects of an increasing population on the world's energy needs? The consumption of energy has risen considerably due to the growth in the world's population. This has led to the search for new alternative sources of energy. Second one, describe the process of oil refining. This essay will describe the process of producing petrol from crude oil. Discuss renewable sources of energy. This essay examines three renewable sources of energy and outlines the advantages and disadvantages of each one. Which is the best thesis statement for each essay title? Discuss the present problems of pollution in the world. It is Yes, it is C1. There are three major forms of pollution which sites have to deal with. Second one, why are plants important? Second one. B1. Plants are a source of oxygen, food, medicine, and raw materials. You should read the essay title, What is Solar Power? Using the notes, write a thesis statement and introduction to the essay. You have 2 minutes to write thesis statement. What is solar power? I will give your model answers. For example, solar power is energy from the sun. Solar power is energy from the sun which is used for heating, cooking, and providing light. This essay will describe the advantages and disadvantages of this alternative source of energy. What should we do? Develop a thesis statement. Firstly, we should look at the essay title and decide what kind of essay it is. Then decide what main ideas you will include. After this, write 1 or 2 sentences indicating what you are going to discuss.